He's getting better. He's working through practice. He's not quite there yet, and so we still got a few days before Saturday. We hope he continues to improve.
Jay, now that you had a full week last week with Gerard and you have another week now, I mean, how much has it just changed the dynamic of you know who your guy is, you know how to prepare for that guy?
I think it has changed, and I think the success that we've had moving the ball has affected the way we practice, our confidence. And we have so many young players. We just have so much room to grow. Every time we go on the field, we get better. We learn from every experience, whether it's good or bad. So I think that's the exciting thing. We have a bounce in our step. There's got to be an energy in practice, and that's the biggest thing that we've been focusing on is the details. We really want to focus and execute the details of each play that we're asking them to do, and then we want to continue to play with great effort, and that's what we've been really asking our guys to do. We could basically take the same game plan that we had last week and go again play this week, and if we just clean up some of the mistakes we had, we should have a much better performance. So that's the kind of the way we look at it. Now, obviously, we'll have a different game plan, but some of the things will carry over, and we've got to improve on those.
George, how much does Gerard just improvise on some of those runs? How many are designed, and just give me an idea when does he have the green light to run, and when he would not want him to?
We have many designed runs for him, but we also talk through our passing situations and tell him where the opportunities to run are. And I think when you have a guy like Gerard, I mean, anytime a team wants to match up and play man and they're running with receivers, well, they're giving up green grass and zone. So we just coach him and teach him how to take advantage of those opportunities. We have quarterback draw. We used it on the last touchdown. When people want to play coverage on us like that and try to blanket coverage it's a great advantage to have a quarterback that can run. So we're going to use that, and we can't run him to death either. I mean, we got to be smart about it, but we want him to take advantage. Some of the best run opportunities are when we just drop back and pass, and the rush breaks down, or there's a running lane, and he takes advantage of it. So he's been playing like this for a long time, his whole life. So it's not like this is a new experience for him. This is how he's become the person he is. And we don't want to change that. We want to let him play. We want to let him be who he is, and we want to build around his strengths.
Hey Jay, you know the opponent well by now. Do you feel like this is potentially kind of a shootout, a high-scoring kind of game?
When you play in this conference, you just kind of expect that. And so we definitely went in, I think I said it Saturday night after the game, but when I come to the stadium, my mind's racing, and I run into the film room if I need to calm my mind about something. And I watched the Colorado game from a year ago when Cal played Colorado. It was 56-56 in overtime. And so that was on my mind when I was calling plays Saturday night, that we had to push every opportunity to take advantage to score. And so, this game will be no different. I mean, we have to play smart. We can't be foolish with some of the things we do, but we have to be aggressive. And I think we're starting to develop that mindset. The kids understand that we're going to attack, and we're going to go downfield, and we're going to work sideline to sideline. And, I just told them I wasn't going to go to bed Saturday night regretting not calling something. So, that's just the way it's got to be in this league, and to give yourself a chance. And so every game is going to be that way. And I think our kids are excited to go out and have an opportunity to make plays. I think they're starting to feel that now. And we just got to keep working.
Jay, when you do play in a league where it takes 40 points to win sometimes, I mean, does that change the way you game plan week to week?
Yes, it does. I just don't think you can be conservative to the point where you paint yourself into a corner. I mean, you have to have in mind that you have to have some chunk plays along the way to move the ball consistently and to get points. And so, yes, you have to design your game plan to be able to get some chunks. And I think we have players that have the ability to do that. And so we're continually looking at ways where we can get chunks of yardage and throughout the game plan.
Speaking of chunks, it seemed like Jay Johnson, who defenses know is pretty fast and dangerous, got wide open a couple times.
Yeah, he did a great job, and that's what I'm talking about, how he's been in practice. He's just working his tail off. And I think for the first time in his life, football is his priority. And we've talked a lot about that. And he's a senior, and he loses a day of his senior year every day he comes here. And so he's taking advantage of it. He's working awfully hard before practice, after practice, during practice. And it's starting to show in his play. But those were full speed running routes. And, I think one of the most impressive things about Gerard Hurd is that he has hit about every part of the field with the football, throwing it. I mean, he's thrown deep. He's thrown the outside lanes. I mean, he's threw a couple of wheel routes that were sideline to sideline deep balls that, I mean, those are not easy throws. So I think that's as impressive as anything. His athletic ability is the way that he's thrown the deep ball. And we want to build on that. I mean, that's something that if we can continue to be effective, I think we were 7 for 9 on play action passes down the field, which is, we've been working really hard on that in training camp. So we have to continue to build on that.
What do you have to do to get Jonathan Gray, a little bit going? Do you have to reduce him a little bit on special teams, get him in space? What is the key?
No, we need to get Jonathan going, and Jonathan has a hand in that too. We got to get all of our backs. We'd like to get all of our backs going. As we move along, I think they're going to get more opportunities to run the ball effectively. But, he's a big part of what we want to do. He's one of our leaders on offense, and he's certainly capable of being very, very productive. We really don't want Gerard to be our leading rusher, to be honest with you. We would prefer our backs to be the leading rusher. But there's times when, he had many opportunities, and we've been around long enough to understand. I mean, people aren't just going to let Gerard run around like that all the time. I mean, we have to be ready to adjust as a staff and understand that, we're going to have to find conventional ways to move the ball that aren't always with his feet. But at the same time, we're going to have to do whatever we need to do to score points to win. So, we'll find our way through that on Saturday.
Jay, can you talk about kind of two questions? How is Chris Warren doing with his ankle? And then that two-back look you went to in the red zone, just his ability as a blocker. Seemed like he made a couple of really good blocks there.
He's a big back. And that's our pony's backfield, and he did a good job in that. We used it some in the red zone, and they were very effective runs. Chris is coming along. He's like most of our guys that played. They're banged up a little bit and sore, but he'll be back. He'll be ready, and we're hoping he'll continue to improve and be ready to play Saturday.
Jay said you did not design that direct snap to come your way, that you just happened to grab it. Is that right?
If we did that 1,000 times, we probably couldn't do it again. No, that was not a design play.
It looked like just timing to a T.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing how that happened. We've actually done that before. I think we did it in a Notre Dame game too. But no, that was the snap was just a little bit late, and it just kind of hit him right in the pocket. And thank God we gained 7 yards on it.
Jay, what were you guys seeing at the last play for Gerard, the draw? What were you guys seeing?
I just saw maximum coverage and 3-man rush, and we had plenty of time in the 2-minute drill, and I think that was something that the kids really gained a lot of confidence from, scoring 21 points in the third quarter and twice in I think the last 3 or 4 minutes. They gained a lot of confidence from that, but we just they were dropping everybody and just rushing 3, so we just took advantage of it and gave Gerard a chance to make plays with his feet, and he made a tremendous run. I mean, he came running right by me, and it looked like he was going to try to go out of bounds, and he just stuck his foot in the ground, and I think Armani got a good block for him, and he just beat the other guy. But, he's got a really good feel for when to get down and when to go for it. And I think Sean's done a great job with him. He does it in practice all the time. He'll slide when he doesn't have anything. And if you watch, I think they did a good job of studying Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson does a lot of that. He runs a lot of the same zone read runs and gets in the secondary. And then when he doesn't have any more running room, he goes down. And so Gerard's been studying that, and he's done a really good job of getting upfield and then getting down and protecting himself. And he's going to have to continue to do that as he's got a lot of football games left, thank goodness. And, it's exciting to think that Gerard Hurd and John Burt are going to play together for 4 years. That's pretty good stuff.
Jay,
How much do you pick the brain of a Jeff Traylor, who's been able to run that offense similar to this, successful in high school?
No, Jeff and I think alike, and I've known Jeff a long time. He's been a very close friend of mine. When I recruited East Texas, I used to spend a lot of time in Gilmer. You need to ask Jeff Traylor about the Andy Griffin offense. It's one of my favorite things in football. I was standing on a sideline in Gilmer, Texas. They used to practice at 7:30 in the morning, and I used to stand next to his offensive coordinator, and he'd stand there and signal. And I used to watch. I love watching high school coaches how they run practice, because the offense signals and the defense signals, and you can kind of pick up some things. Well, I see that the offensive coordinator signaling, and all of a sudden he's running this play. It's called Andy, and then he's running another play called Aunt B. And then he's running another play called Barney. And then he's got another one called Ernst T. And I'm like, holy Moses, you guys are running the Andy Griffin offense in Gilmer, Texas. And then he had a whole nother series over Fred Sanford, and he had another series of Rocky. That boy is so country, it's not even funny. But he's a great football coach, and we have a lot in common, and we think alike, and so he's a great help. And all our staff is, but Jeff has a lot of common experiences. When you're a Texas high school football coach, you go all over the country and visit every great college coach in America. So he's got a wealth of information. He's a great support to me, and I'm really glad he's here.
Are you going to borrow any of that terminology for your?
I don't know if we'll be running the Fred Sanford offense, but we don't need any Grady plays, I don't think. But no, he's got great ideas, and he's a good football guy. You don't win 3 state championships without really knowing something about football. So.
Jay, how much does, back to Gerard for a second, how much does Gerard and his style of play help the offensive line? They don't have to take 2 steps back and block for 4 or 5 seconds.
Well, the great thing that he has is spontaneity as a quarterback. That's something that you always look for in a quarterback, is an ability to, when things don't go the way they're designed, can he make something positive happen? And Gerard definitely has that. The one red zone touchdown he had where he dropped back and he ran to his right and then he ran all the way back to his left. That's just, not everybody can do that. That's a special talent. But he's helpful to the line. I think that's been something where, we still have young guys up there that are trying to pass protect, and when it's not always perfect, Gerard can make something happen. And I think he's learning where he should take an opportunity and when he should try to find an open guy. And that's something that his eyes are always downfield. He's trying to throw it downfield, but if the opportunity is there to run, that's something that we tell him to do.
How will you change kind of your approach with Gerard as teams get more film on him? Because right now he's a bit of an unknown, but as they get to figure him out more, how does that change?
No, we understand. People aren't going to let him just run free like that. He's going to have to understand that. He's going to see different looks. He's going to see people come after him. He's going to have to be ready for a physical Big 12 conference where people study what you do, and you're going to have to react to different things. I think it was a great credit to him. The Rice game, they threw the kitchen sink at him. They blitzed more than they have in 3 years, and he handled it. And we got to be mindful as coaches to make sure we put him in situations where we're anticipating those things. So, we're well aware of the quality coaches in this conference, and and they're going to make him work to get yards. It's not going to be as easy as it was last week.
And
Two
Jay,
last ones, please.
Last year, you experienced it with Honeycutt. I mean, this year, the kicker missing a game winner. How do you address it? How do you kind of get his confidence back up?
You know, I went right up to Nick, and I just told him. As a matter of fact, I made him stay in our offensive meeting on Sunday, but we talked to him after the game. We encouraged him after the game. He was really down. But I made him stay in our offensive meeting because I wanted to hear what I had to tell the offense. And we had so many penalties. We had turnovers, missed opportunities on fourth down. I mean, there was a lot of mistakes made in that game by a lot of people, me included. And so, you know, a kid can't take all that on his shoulders. As much as he wanted to make it, it's just part of football. And I told him, I said, you're going to make a 52-yarder sometime, and you're going to pull everybody else out of the gutter. So don't take this too hard, because at the end it all goes through the wash. It'll even out in the end.
Hey, Jay, last year here the plays were scripted to begin with. There was an opening script for the game. Do you like scripting? Do you script X number of plays, or is it just kind of a field thing?
No, we do a lot of different scripting, and a lot of what we do is pre-designed, and it helps because of the speed, and then we make adjustments as we go. Great coach told me you want to learn something from every play, and we try to do that during the game. So we'll see what the defense does and how they react to us, and then we'll try to make adjustments. And I think we're doing a way better job as an offensive staff of making those adjustments during the game. And a lot of what we did in the fourth quarter was because what we were seeing, and we made adjustments. So we've got to continue to do that.
Thanks, Kane.